When you forge a weapon, you need three things. The right metal, temperatures over 1400 degrees, and someone who wants to kill. Here in Jungle Village, we got all three.
Power belongs to no one until it is seized through sex and violence.
Everyone's so afraid of these men. Are you?
No. The government shipment is only days away.
Gentlemen, warriors, we'll see who's left standing and who's on their knees.
Check his vital signs. Strike the vital nerve. Through a vital curve. The non-tempest, like lightning bolts being thrown down from Mount Olympus.
Some pleasure before business?
You a business. This is pleasure.
Unorthodox style, rhyming fox, food killer, be a beer for your body like the box. I'd rather see it on the boardwalk than see it on the block. My Uzi weigh a ton, son, chariot. Chocolate bunny on the run, catch and marry it. My Uzi weigh a ton, son, chariot. My Uzi weigh a ton, son, chariot. Ton, son, chariot. Ton, son, chariot.
How amazing does that look? How amazing does that look? Hey everybody, my name is Zachary Levi. Welcome to the Nerd HQ. Last year it took me 4 days to lose my voice. This year it's taken me 2 days, so thanks for that. Listen, these guys have very limited time and I don't want to waste yours or theirs, so please give a warm and very lovely welcome to our stars of The Man with the Iron Fist, RZA, Lucy Liu, and Bautista. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a warm round of applause. Just a couple reminders before we kick it off. Again, no flash photography, no video. I will beat you personally if I find you doing it. And this is an unmoderated panel, so it's all about you guys. It's your time, so start asking questions right here in the front.
I'll be on the... Mic? Yeah, mic check. There we go, baby. Yeah, this film is directed by the RZA, so I'm the director. So bang bang.
My question is for the RZA. You're very prolific in what you do, and I was just wondering what other projects besides this movie do you have that are coming out, and is there anything that you like to try that you haven't done yet?
Well, all my energy right now is going into The Man with the Iron Fist. We have the film coming and a soundtrack as well. And this is one of my dreams come true, so I'm going to enjoy it while I'm living it, you know what I mean? Bang, bang.
How long did it take to film this?
This movie took us, I spent 150 days in China to make this, between preparation and principal photography.
Hi, what kind of, what's the main martial arts that you used in the film? And what style?
We use everything, man. This film actually, we combined different martial arts, as well as, you know, we have the world's wrestling champion right here, you know what I mean? We incorporated his style.
We're doing some professional wrestling.
Yeah, we have Kung Lee in the film who did Sand Show and brought that style in. I don't want to spoil the film, but this lady is kicking ass in the film. We had the action choreographer, Corey Yoon, who did all the Transporter movies, Expendables, who's one of the best action director in the world, actually. And he also brought in a lot of things from the Asian Kung Fu styles. And we just did a whole mashup of things. So if you love Kung Fu, we put the F-U in Kung Fu, right?
How long has this been bouncing around in your head? Like, I know this is your idea, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's my idea, man. It's been bounced. You know what? This is, to be honest with you guys, we had Nerd headquarters here, the Nerd Machine. This is actually the work of a nerd. You know what I mean? Walking around Staten Island, watching Kung Fu films, dreaming, and eventually growing up to be a man and getting a chance to bring a dream to reality. So this has been bubbling in my head since I was a kid. And it's really a pleasure and an honor to have a great cast of people, have Lucy come on board, Dave, Russell, everybody come on board, and artists share. It's like an artist share project, and to come together and make this dream come true. So, I'm basically one of you guys that grew to be one of these guys, man. So, bunk, bunk.
Oh yeah, I just want to know what kind of training you guys had to go through for the kung fu scenes or whatever, like special training or whatnot.
I just want to say that I showed up in China, had no training, no one told me what was happening at all. It was winter, it was cold. Yeah, I got on the set, and for the first time, for me, usually I like to have training and an idea of the choreography because it really helps you to establish who you are as a character. And I just thought, there's gonna be something, I don't know what it is. Well, they were really busy, and the next thing you know, what they did for me specifically was they would say, this is what we want you to do. I saw what the moves were. I said, all right, roll the camera. Let's not even rehearse it. Let's see what we can get. And that's how we did it. And it was raw, and it was not easy. It was very difficult, and it was, in China, there's an insane amount of crew. Like, here you have one person doing, your wardrobe, right? They had 15. So there was no such thing as a closed set. So there was a sea of people all the time. You just have to be really humble when you go to China and you want to do a kung fu movie or any kung fu moves, because you just have to. I think that they expected me to be able to do absolutely everything, and it wasn't the case. And what we did was whatever we caught on film and more. So it was very cool. It turned out to be a really good thing, but no training. Scary.
We have professionals here. I definitely will say that, when Lucy came on the set, we had a whole, me and the action guy talked about a lot of things to do, but she didn't know what she had to do, you know what I mean? But she rose to the occasion, like the professional and the master that you are. And when you watch the film, she's kicking ass. So she's an ass kicker, yo.
I actually did a lot of meditation. Help me get through it.
And how about you, Dave? Any training?
Well, like Lucy said, I mean, it was very physical. It was demanding, and I'm a physical guy. I work out and I train constantly. But there's stuff you just can't prepare for. Like one day I showed up, they called me to set, and I go to set, and you'll probably notice I'm the only guy shirtless in the movie, and I was shirtless throughout the movie, and it was freezing. But I go to set, and they're all standing around laughing at me. I was, I'm like, what are you laughing at? He goes, so what are we doing? He said, Corey said, we're gonna punch you in the face. And I thought they were, like, no. He goes, yes, we're gonna punch you in the face. And then that's what they did. I stood there, and they literally had a guy come up, and he hit me like this hard in the face. But what they did was they ran it in slow motion, and it looked like my whole face just crumbled. But I mean, how do you prepare for that? You show up to set and say, what are we doing? Oh, we're gonna punch you in the face. All right, let's do this.
Now, I was more fortunate than the rest of the crew because I got a chance to go to China 15 weeks ahead of shooting. And so I did train. They gave me a Hung Gar specialist. Hung Gar is a form of martial art that uses animal styles, tiger, crane, snake, monkey. And the same teacher who taught Gordon Liu, you know, came in and showed me some moves, which I didn't use in the film, but but if you want to test me, I got some hung guard skill, tiger style.
I got a question for the RZA. How easy was it to pitch this to Quentin? Did you just go, I want to do a Shaw Brothers film? He's like, yeah, sure.
No, this wasn't easy. I took 6 years of tutelage from Quentin Tarantino, you know, going to his house, watching movies, talking to him. I've been on all his movie sets from Kill Bill, Death Proof, and everything. And I basically became a student of his. And when I felt like I was ready, you know, like going to this temple of Kung Fu, and I felt like now I want to go fight the world, I went to him and I said, Quentin, I think I'm ready to direct the film. What do you think? He says, Bobby, I think you are ready. And then me and Eli Roth had got together, and I had this story that I told him about, and he was like, well, you have to make it into a screenplay that, you know, that executives could understand. And we sat there, it took about a year to write this into a screenplay. And when we did that, we went into the business people of the industry, and we told them about the vision, and they took a shot with us, and here we are right now, The Man with the Iron Fist, a movie made. Bunk, bunk. Well, this movie it takes place, it's actually a saga, to be honest with you. And we are in the middle of it. The Man with the Iron Fist is just the middle of a saga of people and clans that exist in this place called Jungle Village. But this particular part of the saga, the government is sending a shipload of gold from the south to the north to help the troops and the refugees of war. And it has to pass through this savage town called Jungle Village. It's called Jungle Village because everybody in the town has the name of a clan. The hyenas, the lions, the rodents, the wolves. And the government is like, this gold must pass through safely or I'm going to destroy the whole village. And he makes a deal with Gold Lion to let it pass through safely. But when it comes to money, things get funny. and everybody, you know, start plotting on how to get their hands on this money. But within the midst of this story, you also have people, you know, people that's trying to live a normal life, who get sucked into this big clusterfuck of violence, man. So if I was to sum it up, I'll say we have a story of revenge. There's a love element going on. There's a quest for freedom, but more than anything, there's a struggle for power. As you see in the trailer, power is a fickle mistress, you know what I mean?
Okay, my question's for all three of you. Who was your favorite fight scene with in the movie?
Favorite fight scene?
Yeah, who was the favorite person to do a fight scene with?
Who's your favorite person to do a fight scene with?
I only had one guy, Kung Lee. He matched me up with, like, you know, the guy who won mixed martial arts, put him in a cage, and then he takes him down. Right. That's who he set me up with. So Kung and I had a sick fight together. He's incredible, such a nice guy, and real sweetheart. He really is, and he's incredibly talented. And you think about it, you put him in a cage with someone, and he comes out as the victor. And no training. It's pretty intimidating. Right. But I think that was the only person that I had main fight scenes with.
My favorite fight scene was with RZA. But it's also my least favorite fight scene. Because it was not easy to film. It was something we started and we did, and it's just such a big, epic fight scene. We actually had to leave it and go away because we were getting behind schedule and come back to it at the end of the film. But I actually haven't seen the finished product. I wanted to wait and see it as a fan. So I don't know how it came out. I'm sure RZA said it came out great.
He's whipping my ass. That's how it came out. One of my favorite fight scenes is actually, there's a couple in the movie called the Gemini Killers, played by Grace Hung and Andrew Lin. And these two motherfuckers are kicking ass in this film. And every time I watch it, I love it. But I want to go back to what Lucy said about her fighting Kung Lee. Now, nobody in here would like to fight Kung Lee. Kung Lee is an ass kicker. And Kung Lee, I'm going to bash you a little bit, he loves her. He's a big fan of hers, right? And so when I told him, I was like, listen, you're going to fight Lucy. He said, no, I love her. I said, listen, buddy, your character has to fight her character. And it's also one of the best fights in the movies as well. When you see this film, when you see these two going at it, and in Shaw Brother movies, there was always a way of making violence romantic. And I knew that he had this crush on her. And so I end the scene in the most romantic way. I don't want to spoil it for you, but when you see the ending, you'll see that he finally got his fantasy fulfilled.
Who can we expect to hear on your soundtrack?
Oh, and the soundtrack on the music. We had some great people come help us out. Kanye West gave me a song for the movie, which is great for me. The Black Keys. Wiz Khalifa came in and had some fun with me. There's a rock and roll band known as My Chemical Romance, and those guys came in and did something crazy. And one of my favorite music artists alive is a guy named John Frusciante. And John also blessed me with some music for the film. And my buddy Howard Drawson, who's a composer, he composed video games and he worked with me on Afro Samurai as well. And we came back together and we spent about 9 months writing the score for this film. So it's a pretty great collage of energy. So I'm quite sure you will enjoy that.
Hi, my question's for Lucy. You were on TV, then you went to the movies, and now you're back on TV. Do you have a preference?
I love both. I think it's wonderful to flip back and forth, and I think it's important to do both because television is very unpredictable, and you don't know what's going to happen with your character or the story. It can change all the time, which I think is great. And it keeps you on your toes as an actor. I think film is sort of, there's a beginning, middle, and end, and there's a certain time frame, and that's wonderful because you can make a special effort to go to the theater and see it. And it's very different. I mean, television is really fast, and you do like 8 to 10 pages a day, and film you could do a quarter of a page. So it's just a different speed, and I think to be able to run on both is important, as well as like, you know, doing theater or whatever else you want to do. It's nice to be able to sort of flip back and forth. I think that it used to be that people would say, oh, this person's a television actor and this person's a film actor, and I don't think that's the case anymore, you know, because there's so many channels. I mean, if you see all the people that are on television now and also the indie movies, and I don't know, it's a very different game than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I enjoyed directing this film, if fate leaves the door open for me, I will continue to direct more films. Like I said, I took the time to study how to become a director. When I first did a soundtrack for a movie called Ghost Dog with Jim Jarmusch, Jim saw something in me as an artist, and he actually said that I have a director's mind. And then later on, I also did an album called Only Built for Cuban Links, where we sampled a movie called The Killer by John Woo. And that allowed me to meet John Woo. And he also gave me a lot of advice about directing. But when I met Quentin Tarantino, it's like I found my Sifu. And I was like, let me be your student. And I think all the wisdom that I gained from these great men is going to be an asset for myself, but also an asset for film. One thing I like to say about movies is that, you know, some movies you go there to learn about reality, or you go and to hear the story of a man's life. But to me, the best thing about going to see a movie is escaping reality. You know, when you go see Star Wars, you know what I mean, and you know, Star Trek, and these fantasies that takes us out of the world, to me, that's like a release of pressure. And that's what I made with this film for. This is a movie, you go here, you get your popcorn, and you just sit back and go into a whole nother world. And if I have my way, I will be doing this for us for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a fan of your music, RZA, since the early 90s. And I just want to know, because all your music it was influenced by like old Kung Fu flicks and everything. And hearing your music, it like, you could even see like a Kung Fu fight in it when I'm listening to it. So I just want to know, like for this movie, did music like influence you in any way? Like did you hear some tracks or something and you were like, oh man, this would be a hot friggin' fight scene in my movie?
Yeah, like I said, music helped me actually write this movie. I wrote it to, there's a song by Barry White called, it basically is called the Orchestra Theme. It's on one of his albums. It's like the last song. We use it for Cuban Links, for Raekwon's song, North Star. And I had this song playing over and over as I wrote the pages to the movie. There's a song from the movie called Carrie. It's called, the lady was doing the photograph. Basically, she's singing about the most beautiful thing she ever saw. And when I wrote a scene for Rick Yoon and his love interest, I played this love song over and over and over and over as we wrote it. So music is a great key to bring inspiration to you, and I use it all the time.
RZA, I want to say that you were awesome in Harold and Kumar. Also, I know you're probably really focused on Iron Fist right now, but down the line, any other projects, like other action movies? Because I always had this like imaginary movie of the Wu-Tang Clan, like saving the world from some unknown force or something like that. And I would love to see that, you know, one day. Just a thought.
Well, hoping you become an executive in one of these studios, and I come and pitch the idea, and you give me a green light, yo.
Hey, RZA, over here. Can you compare managing the talent on a film to managing the talent on an album like Wu-Tang?
Well, yeah, me and Dave had talked about this actually, as we was working on the film. You know, when we was like, you know, we had Dave Bautista, who was a superstar. You know what I mean? We got Russell Crowe, one of the best actors in the world. We got the beautiful Lucy Liu, one of the top female actresses in the world. We got Rick Yoon, you know, a villain. We have Daniel Wu, Gordon Liu. We had Pam Grier, Jamie Chung, and to me, I basically had Kung Lee. I had my own version of a Wu-Tang Clan and actors when I did this film. And if, I would say if I never had worked with Wu-Tang, I wouldn't know how to basically understand people and personalities and deal with things that came to. We didn't have a lot of problems on the set, I would say. Everybody is so professional. But the experience that I had working in the studio definitely came to help me working on this album. We had one problem, though. Can I talk about this, Dave? Huh? Can I say this one thing that happened?
Say whatever.
Okay. All right. Listen. Now, everybody don't get along. Just like in Wu-Tang, Meth vs. Chef, you know, some of the guys will argue with each other. You know, there was a point where one of my actors, I would say Dave and one of the other actors, Rick, disagreed, right? And I'm listening to these guys go back and forth, and it felt like Meth and Raekwon arguing, right? And they both, to me, was saying the same thing in a different way. And I was able to go, yo, guys, listen, man. Because if these two guys fight, the whole building's coming down, you know what I mean? And I think I was able to help mediate the idea, and you know, at the end of the day,
basically we were saying the same thing in different ways. We were just coming from different areas, different backgrounds with the same opinion. But Rick and I are both from the streets of DC. So it really became an escalated argument. And I think when my face started to turn red, RZA stepped in and said, you guys are just saying the same thing in the wrong way. But I wanted to touch on a couple other things. The guy asked about music, and I thought one of the coolest things RZA did as a director was a lot of times when we were shooting scenes, he would have music on and he would play it and we'd shoot the scene. And he'd go back and he'd rewind and say, play it again, turn the music up. And it really helped, I don't know, helped the mood a lot, I thought. I thought that was a really cool thing that you did.
Yeah, I got that from Quentin Tarantino as well.
Yeah. And
You know, his sense, he always played music, and so most of the time when I worked as an actor, it's always quiet and quiet. But on his set, when the scene is over, you know, music comes on, and I think it breaks the energy. And we're in China where people, you know, don't speak English, and some of them didn't know, what we was talking about in some of the crew, because they just working. But there was certain songs I would put on, and everybody just got real warm and smooth. And there was this one song that I went to karaoke one night and got drunk with my crew. And there's this one song that's like the biggest song in China, and everybody was singing it in karaoke. And I was like, hey, I like that song. And so I got a copy of it. And one day when the set was kind of feeling a little tense and everything, I played this song, and the whole Chinese crew started singing along, and it helped the day go better.
Guys, we have time for about 1.5 more questions. So really one.
Hello. Oh, hi. I was wondering, what kind of things did you have to cut? Because I know that it was a really long film at first, and I know you had to cut it in half, or that's what I read on IMDb at least. But what kind of plot lines did you have to cut from the original film?
There are certain scenes in the film, certain stories that kind of was attached to certain characters that we basically had to cut down. Any movie, I didn't know this as a first-time director. I didn't know what happens in the process of making a film. I think every film, the first cut is 3 or 4 hours. Would you agree that most films? Right, if not 5 hours, exactly. So me, I don't know that. So I'm sitting on 4 hours like, wait, maybe I got 2 movies here or something like that. And I go to Eli, I'm like, I got 2 movies. He said, Bobby, listen, I've been here before, kid. You don't have 2 movies. You have to you have to streamline them. Movies don't only get made on a set, they also get made in the editing room. It's a whole process that goes on that really makes a film come together. And when you finish it, you never miss what you took out, because it made the movie much better. And I gotta admit that after going through this process, I understand it now, and next time I do it, it'll be much easier for me to, as they say, kill your babies or some shit like that. Yeah.
I think we may have reached our time. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we? Oh, you want to do one more? You want to do wait. Lucy says no. One more. And when Lucy says no, I say yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Here, you can use my mic. Hold on.
Thank you, Lucy. This is actually for RZA, though.
I hate when people don't finish. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't get to ask their question.
Not finishing sucks.
So it's cool.
Yeah, thanks. I've been listening to Liquid Swords a lot lately, and I was wondering why maybe you think that album's so underrated, because you never hear that album mentioned for like Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, Ready to Die, any of the albums that came out from New York around the same time. But Liquid Swords might be better than all of those albums, you producing it and RZA as the lead artist.
Well, Liquid Swords is one of my favorite albums, you know what I mean? It's a great album. And RZA to this day continues to perform it and tour, so it shows the strength of it. So, you know, everybody has their opinion of music. But I want to just really first take the moment in front of all you guys to thank Lucy for coming away to China for me and representing for my film. Thank Dave Bautista for coming away over to China and trusting me. This is a project of artists sharing, you know. And everybody believed in the vision that I had, and we all as artists came together to bring you a film that is worth the price of admission. I can guarantee you that. So when you get time, and when it comes out November 2nd, get the biggest bucket of popcorn you can and go enjoy The Man with the Iron Fist.
Guys, let's give it up for RZA, Lucy, and David, please.
So for the people who attended the panel, you know that there is a signing after this, and we're actually doing it in the mezzanine of Nerd HQ. So if you guys want to just exit 6th and come around and then enter through the doors, and we'll take you up in the mezzanine. We've got to load the room for the next panel. Thank you, guys.